Hello everyone, Brachiosaurus TT7 here, and yes, this is Season 3 of the Nerf Archives. I know it's quite not as much of a gap as last time, and I'm really excited to do this because I think this is going to be the best season yet when including the blasters that we have on the roster. It's quite a bit, and it's going to be amazing. And I was thinking a first episode needs to be something iconic, something that has a lot of impact on the hobby. This is the Nerf N-Strike Elite Retaliator. This is the XD version, and it is a blaster that changed the ecosystem of Nerf and has been a staple in the hobby since it came out. Let's get started. Cue the intro. The Retaliator released back in 2012, right when Elite was kicking off. I believe this released alongside the Strife, correct me if I'm wrong, and it was basically the new Recon, which makes sense. It is literally the same exact barrel and core blaster with two new attachments replaced for the old ones. Now, one thing that definitely makes me a little upset right off the bat is this didn't include a sight like the original had, and it didn't include the double mag system, which I just thought was good. The blaster came with a stock that was nice, but it is a short stock, and it's kind of been the standard for short stocks. Like, this is what short stocks are compared to. If you like short stocks, this is probably one you like. It is a snazzy looking stock though, and I think it does look the best on the Retaliator. Then it comes with my personal favorite foregrip I think Nerf has made, maybe next to the Stampede grip. It's a very comfy grip, and it's actually one of the more comfortable ones, and it usually stays secure on most blasters. And then, of course, the Recon style barrel with a little flip sight here. The attachments are still pretty good, but they're just not as iconic as the Recon's versions, and I think they could have been a little bit more unique. These just seem kind of basic in comparison, like a little more modernized. And I know that's not much of a complaint, but it is just something that I have that a little nitpick. However, one upgrade though was instead of two 6-round mags, it included a 12-round mag. Now I think it should have included two 12-round mags, but again, that's still just nitpicking. Overall, it's still pretty much the same blaster as the Recon, except with better internals, and it's direct plunger instead of reverse plunger. Direct plunger means that you can legit straight up mod these a lot better. You can upgrade the spring and stuff. Reverse plunger, the way it's set up is a spring upgrade won't do as much to it. You can still upgrade the spring to like a Recon, but it won't be as impactful as, say, a Retaliator if you upgrade the spring, because the Retaliator is direct plunger, which I really like that they converted it to direct plunger, because this is one of the most moddable blasters you can get your hands on. It is essentially the Springer version of the Strife, if that makes sense. It's basically what the Strife is, but in Springer format. This is probably the second most iconic blaster in the Elite line besides the Strife or Strong Arm. It's one of the big blasters. It's one of the staples in the Nerf hobby, and it should remain a staple in the Nerf hobby for as long as it can. So far, nothing has really come close to replacing it. Maybe the Modulus Recon Mark II, but almost everything else has not come close to replacing it. Now, if you count the Recon's variants, the Retaliator basically has more variants than any other blaster, but strictly based off Retaliator variants, there's actually still quite a few. Of course, we have the one right in my hand, which is the XD Retaliator. Of course, we have the first gen Elite Retaliator, which in my opinion is the best. It has the most solid internals. You have quite a bit of detailing on the side, a lot more on the blastering attachments than the second version of the blue Recon, which was just more of a pale blue, which I'll put right up here. I believe there was a second gen XD Retaliator. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna double check. If I am right, there is actually a picture up here. So already off the bat, we have 4 different Retaliator types, and there was even a 5th one, and that was the Sonic Ice Retaliator, and it probably is the best looking one, I'm not gonna lie. This blaster gets about 70-ish FPS. It's, the standard Elite par. I do not have a chronograph, so I cannot test that personally, but there are plenty of reviews that show what FPS this gets. However, I will be showing a range test right here on the screen to show you the range it gets. The blaster operates very simple and pretty much like any other mag-fed Springer or the Recon. You pull back the priming handle, hit the mag release, which is actually a really good mag release. Actually, the whole ergonomic structure, like of the grip and everything, is great because it's a Recon. It's basically just a Recon. The Recon already had a great grip. Let's load in some rounds. Insert the mag into the blaster, prime it forward, and pull the trigger, which is actually a really good trigger. And we're out of ammo. So what does this blaster have to offer the hobby? Well, actually everything. It is pretty much the staple of Nerf. It is a staple Nerf blaster. It is one of the main Nerf blasters I would recommend anyone getting. If you have an objectively good blaster, the objectively best blaster, it would probably go down to this or the Strife. I kid you not, this is a great blaster. It has everything you need. It has mod potential. It is a very compact package in and of itself. It's very ergonomic, and it's just a great blaster overall. It has everything a blaster like this should need and more. It really hasn't been topped. I don't think the Delta Trooper did a good job because those internals are crap. And the Echo is obviously Elite 2.0 and has all the issues that go with being Elite 2.0. The only real blaster that ever comes close to actually being better than the Retaliator, I would say, is the Recon Mark II, and I'll get into that later. But there is no way I can't give this an amazing rating. It has mod potential, it has compactness, it has good stock performance, it has just everything you can want in a tiny little package, and I just really like it for that. It's become one of my favorite blasters, although I do not like the other versions like the XD one I have here, or the second gen blue one. I think the first gen is just the best. It's the most moddable, and it has the most sturdy internals, and the least decline out of any others. But yeah, that is the Nerf N-Strike Elite Retaliator. It has everything you could ever want. It is one of the best blasters ever made, in my opinion, and I've grown to love it a lot more than I used to. And of course, it is the perfect first episode for Season 3, something a little iconic, and I would almost say forgotten. The Retaliator needs more praise. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Season 3 of the Nerf Archives. Oh man, we got a great lineup of stuff. We got some guest appearances, maybe an extra guest appearance, and we just got a lot to look forward to. Some really great things, and you know, I'm really happy to have I'm really happy to have the guest appearance like Captain. I can't say anything. Hold on. You know, my agent has advised me not to say anything. I don't have an agent. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
My junk drawer. So many things I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.